All right. Just so that we can respect everyone's time, I'm going to start with some introductions and hopefully some more people drift in. We did have more people sign up for this, so maybe some will be just going for the recording. But welcome to those who are here tonight. I think most of you may know me. I'm Sam Pickard. I'm the current chair of the Delaware County Heritage Commission, and this talk seminar tonight is put on by the Delaware County Heritage Commission and the Delaware County Planning Department. And so the Heritage Commission is an all-volunteer body appointed by County Council. And if you don't know us already, we do a variety of preservation-related activities in the county. We make recommendations on preservation-oriented community development block grants for potential recipients in the county. We sponsor the annual County Preservation Awards each May, and we also advise on county-owned historic resources. So this is also kind of an aspect of what we do, are hosting annual seminars, and we try and cover different aspects each year. And right now, as we're approaching the 250th, we're talking about volunteers because we have a lot of groups in the county who are doing a lot of great things. They have a lot of great plans, but we need volunteers to actually pull them off. So, uh, before I move on to tonight's speaker, I want to just give a quick shout out to Kate Clifford of the Delaware County Planning Department, who is the Heritage Commission liaison and who really is responsible for pulling all of this together. So we, as usual, cannot thank you enough, Kate. And now I want to introduce our speaker for tonight, Andrea Silva, who is the director of America 250 PA Delco. I believe I got that right. Uh, and so she is here to talk to you tonight about an interactive web platform that is going to be launched to help connect groups with volunteers as part of a wider campaign to promote American generosity and service for the 250th. So thank you so much for coming out tonight, Andrea, and yeah, everyone, let's have a great meeting, and please mute your microphones and hold questions until the end.
Thanks, Sam, and thank you, Kate, for the opportunity to speak with everyone. I'm really grateful for the Heritage Commission's support and enthusiasm for how they can help America 250. And I can't say enough about how helpful the Planning Department has been to kicking off the America 250 planning so many years ago, and then sticking along with us as we've really built and launched all of these different initiatives. And so I'm going to start sharing my screen so you guys can get a little bit more information. Like Sam said, my name is Andrea Silva, and I'm the director of Delaware County's celebration of America's 250th birthday. That will be on July 4th, 2026. It's the U.S. Semiquincentennial, signing of the Declaration of Independence, and we anecdotally all say America's 250th. And just to bring everybody up to speed, really what we have to keep in mind is that all across America, every community is preparing their own individual America 250 celebrations. And it's really the largest celebration of American history and culture since the 1976 bicentennial. And when the bicentennial came, it really fostered an interest in investing in our historic sites like we haven't seen before. And many of the organizations we have in Delaware County were either built in preparation for the bicentennial, were established because of the enthusiasm that the bicentennial created. And what we're really looking for is how can we maximize that same enthusiasm for the next generation of cultural keepers and historic preservationists and history heroes and community helpers as we go into 2026. So we have a stronger community after in 2027 and into the future. And so my mission is to work with a whole bunch of organizations and people to get all the people in Delaware County excited and involved in experiences that will ignite their imaginations, that will elevate diverse stories, that will inspire service, and really connect them to the American founding and 250 years of advancing American democracy. We have a couple different goals of the initiative. One is economic development, because of course we're doing heritage tourism and we want to support local businesses because we want people to buy American and buy from Delaware County businesses too. We also want to foster civic engagement because being an American and our patriotism into the future really matters about how engaged as a civic populace we are. But because we know that our historic sites are so important to both of those two things, we're working on a civic engagement campaign called Delco Volunteers to really drive people to our historic sites and to our civic spaces. So when we started to come up with the idea, it was really in relation to the stakeholder engagement planning that many of you participated in 2024. So many of the organizations came to us and said, we need volunteers to pull off what we're doing. And then we started to look back at American history and we started to really say, you know what, volunteerism is one of these cornerstones of American life that we feel that Delaware County people can be connected to. And, you know, it's everything from George Washington establishing this sort of national ethos of volunteer militias and public works projects. And we really carried that through with Abraham Lincoln inspiring a wave of volunteerism during the Civil War, providing aid to soldiers. And we saw that through, you know, Franklin Roosevelt's Civilian Conservation Corps and John F. Kennedy inspiring, you know, what can you do for your country? So here in Delaware County, we know, and we can look back over all of these markers of history and look at the civic spaces, our libraries, our schools, our parks, and just see that they were all built because of the dedication of residents. People who are serving on local boards, organizations, people who donated land, but donated buildings, all of these things have made Delaware County the amazing place it is today, which is rich in its history. And while volunteer rates have sort of declined in recent decades, we're seeing in 2022 and 2023 that volunteer rates are actually popping up a little bit, which is good news. And so we're hoping that with Delco Volunteers, as we launch this initiative, we'll be able to grab that enthusiasm for volunteerism, grab that energy and excitement about history, and build on to this American tradition of connecting to our local service and our national celebrations, just so that everybody can have a really meaningful expression of their patriotism as we go forward. So that's where it came from. And so what is Delco Volunteers? It really is our countywide call to service. It's so that we, the people of Delco, can engage with local history, can improve civic spaces, and be a part of solutions for the future. And so as Sam said, we're launching an interactive web platform so that we can really connect volunteers with opportunities that our community program partners all across the county will post. My role is then to implement a comprehensive marketing campaign so that organizations can reach outside of their immediate community and start moving towards maybe a neighboring community, or, you know, if you're on the eastern side of the county, maybe you can reach some people on the western side of the county. Because what we see here is that Delco pride is pretty strong, and that you may have been born in Ridley Park and today you live in Springfield and you still want to go to your hometown and be a part of those celebrations. And so we're trying to create opportunities for people who are living in this area and connected to this area to keep up with that. And so I'll be working on taking all of these volunteer opportunities and reaching out to schools and businesses and faith communities and other civic groups. So hopefully some other organizations or other young people who haven't been invited into some of our historic places will now feel like they have the invitation. We have a pretty strong, ambitious goal to try to connect with about 2,500 people, which we know the Citizen Corps got over 2,000 volunteers. So those folks were entirely emergency service workers. And now we're really opening it up to an even broader base of the Delaware County public. So you're talking about church communities, you're talking about our Rotaries, you're talking about all of our high school seniors who need to get their service hours, and businesses who are looking for opportunities. I just got an email yesterday from a small real estate company who said, we want opportunities for our team to come out and do something for America 250. So there you go. You have a small real estate office who wants to find an opportunity to do something. So in the end, we may in fact connect with anywhere from 100 to 250 projects all across all 49 municipalities, Delaware County, and it will be all throughout the year of January through December 2026. And if all of these volunteers come together, they're going to be contributing between 10 and 20,000 hours of service and contributing almost $1 million of in-kind value to our county. So if we can get this to be a very successful initiative, we'll be leaving a really strong legacy of service in Delaware County. So Delco volunteers, we've talked a little bit about why it's important right now. So volunteerism is still down. It hasn't been strong in over 40 years. But we know that in Delaware County, people care tremendously about what's going on here. And so we know that Delaware County is highly generous. We also know the historic sector lost a few volunteers after the pandemic. Some of our volunteers just didn't come back. Some of our volunteers aged out. And it's just so critical right now for us to infuse new interested people who love history so we can retain and preserve our historic sites, because we are in fact where PA began. And since I know this call has a lot of our historians on it, I wanted to make sure all of you knew that when I talk about the history of Delaware County, I'm really trying to give people a big, perspective on the immense history that Delaware County has. These are some of the stories that we hope that Delaware County will learn through the 250th. We want people to know that we have a Declaration of Independence signer here. We want people to know that we've been involved in civil rights from abolition to women's rights all the way through to Martin Luther King. We know that we have many, many National Register resources and historical markers, and we're really working to collect them under heritage themes so that your everyday traveler or your everyday resident may look around when they're visiting a winery or visiting an orchard and begin to understand that those places hold an enormous amount of history. And so these are some of the heritage themes that you'll see popping up over the next year. So what kinds of opportunities can you post with Delco volunteers? We're really hoping to get engagement for opportunities that promote history. So cleaning, restoring, maintaining historic buildings, small days of cleaning, getting people to come out and assist with a reenactment, having somebody come out and digitize a story, having someone do a little research for you on a story or a narrative that you're trying to build. Those are the kinds of promoting history opportunities, coming out and being the person who keeps the doors open so that you have more than one docent there to keep your historic site open for a day. And so if we have enough interest, maybe you can open your doors a little bit more often in 2026. We're looking for opportunities where people really think of themselves of, I just want to give back. So that may also be civic opportunities like supporting voter information drives or serving as an election poll worker. There are opportunities to help with our veterans recognition events on Veterans Day, on Memorial Day. There are some of our heritage tree commissions that are interested in planting heritage trees. Some of our arboretums or parks, which aren't normally thought of as historic spaces, but we know that they are, and they're some of the oldest old growth forests in the area. So it's a different way of looking at our history and heritage, but we're trying to bring those into the celebration as well. And then, of course, we know around the 4th of July and leading up to the 4th of July, there are going to be so many festivities and festivals from Havertown to Chadds Ford. We've got the rally going at the Brandywine Battlefield, which is a really exciting new project. We've got over 24th of July parades. We've got special exhibits opening up at some of our community centers. And all of these special projects need people to just come in and be a person who can help so that you, as an organization running these programs, have a little bit more support. And what we really want to have be a huge takeaway is that when we're running Delco volunteers, it's really important to ask yourself, what is the first time volunteer service experience that I can put out to the community? Because as we're reaching out to new people, all of these volunteers, they're likely never going to have volunteered with your organization before. And so they're going to show up, and it really needs to be a good first time experience for them. It's almost like they're dating your organization. And individuals may decide to try a lot of different opportunities out next year and date a lot of different organizations, but we hope that they'll fall in love with your organization, and that's one of the legacies we're leaving. We'd love for every organization to gain some new volunteers next year. These are some of the organizations that have come on as community program partners. And so I'm just going to be reaching out to them one by one, putting their opportunities into the Delco Volunteers platform. But it really is a wide breadth of everything from churches to arts groups, to veterans groups, to historic sites. And it's all over Delaware County. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is that we will welcome volunteers and opportunities for the entire year from January through December. But there are some key service dates that align with national observances and local celebrations. And these dates can offer a really special opportunity for volunteer impact, but also for visibility for different organizations. So if you've never done something on one of these dates, you may want to consider hosting an opportunity next year. You know, most people don't know that the third week in April is also National Volunteer Week. I think most of the time we think about Earth Day, but there's also a whole week-long emphasis all over the country. And I want you to keep in mind that this service project is also going on nationally. So all over America, our largest national service agencies, they're going to be promoting Give to America and giving back to America. So this is going to be a message that's going to be amplified. Their national sponsor is Walmart. So in every Walmart in America, people are going to hear America Gives. And here in Delaware County, we're going to focus on Delco volunteers. So those impacts can be seen locally. So the platform that we chose was called Golden. It's a really, I want to say, fun and delightful platform where it's driven and was built for people to interface it really through their phones. Since so many people in the younger and older age cohorts are not sitting at a computer all day, they're really interfacing and they're looking for opportunities through their iPhones. And so this is a platform that was really built for engagement of new volunteers through their phones. It offers, to me, a centralized area where I can oversee hundreds of organizations, and I can funnel the hours that all of your volunteers do all the way up into one report. So we're going to be able to take the 2 hours at this site and 10 hours at that site and 12 hours at this site and aggregate it to be able to say, in 2026, there were this many volunteer hours, and this is how many projects, and this is how many companies, and really give a good picture of how volunteerism functions in the county. The platform's really it's easy to navigate. It allows each organization that registers with me to post and manage their own unique opportunities for volunteering. And it has all of these built-in tools like automated reminders, automated thank you notes, push notifications, and these ways to reduce no-shows and boost retention. And it's built right in so that at a push of a button, your organization will be able to just remind people that they signed up and that, that they can schedule it themselves and they can easily notify you if they can attend, and it all happens through the app. And what's so fun about it is it has a built-in virtual reward system. So you can give people carrots, and I can reward people who have a lot of carrots with different America 250 memorabilia that we're creating for the celebration. So there's, whether it's challenge coins or baseball caps or t-shirts, we can give people some of those commemorative items so that they'll always remember what those special Semiquincentennial moments were, which is a mouthful. It's really easy to get started for an organization that wants to post its own opportunities. Essentially, I'll have a link on my website that says register as an organization, or you can simply send an email to me at Delco Volunteers at America 250 PA Delco, and then I can work with you and send you an individual invitation to create that partner account. So we're working with a really wonderful, socially progressive organization in Golden. And they've come on not just as a purchase platform, but they've really come on as a sponsored partner for us. So they've got a lot of skin in the game to make this work for us. And they gave our county a pretty generous sponsorship, in-kind sponsorship to be able to use, I want to say, the Cadillac suite of volunteer engagement platforms. So it's kind of exciting. So I do have 3 short videos that give you a peek inside the platform. So I have one video for organizations to have their insight. I have another video to really show you what a volunteer opportunity looks like, and then another one that looks like what it looks like from an individual. So if I'm an individual and I want to volunteer for something, this is what it looks like for me. So I'll jump through these and then we'll open it up to questions and we can start digging back through things. All right, so let's see if it's...
Hi, my name is Chris, one of Golden's client strategy leads, and welcome to Golden's online training series. Today, we'll be taking a look at the organizer dashboard and running through a few important settings to help you get started with managing your volunteer program on Golden. The organizer dashboard is the system where organizers can create volunteer opportunities, engage with volunteers, manage their data, and if you're an aggregator or part of a hierarchy, you can also use the dashboard to manage your sub-accounts and track the engagement of those users. Today, we'll be exploring a few key features in the Settings tab. First, let's navigate to Users. In this section, you can add members of your organization onto Golden. Simply click the Invite User button and add the name of the colleague you wish to invite. Ensure that you sign the correct permission levels when doing so. A reader is someone who can view data and opportunities in your dashboard, but can't actually make any changes to the structure. This might be a good setting for someone on your development team who doesn't have the direct responsibility for managing your volunteer program. A writer is someone who can draft opportunities but cannot publish them. This is a great setting for an intern or someone who still might be learning the basics of how to use Golden. An opportunity manager is someone who directly oversees the management of a specific opportunity. As an opportunity manager, you can only view the opportunities assigned to you. You don't have access to your Participants tab, Insights, My Network, or Settings tabs, but you can engage with volunteers and edit the opportunity that you are assigned to as needed. We'll get into adding an opportunity manager a little later on in this series. An admin is someone who is directly responsible for managing the volunteer program at your organization. They have the full scope and feature set as an owner, except an owner can add and remove other admins. You can always change a user's permission settings or remove them from your network by using the icons on the right-hand side of your screen, or by selecting that individual and using the buttons at the top of the screen to either change permission or remove them as users. The My Organization section allows you to update your organization's information, such as an address if you were to change offices. Here, you can also toggle between your organization notification settings and update payment methods if you're going to be using our background or motor vehicle check features. I can manage my personal settings in the top right-hand corner by clicking on my name and then clicking on my profile. From here, I can update relevant information, change my password, and update my individual email preferences. Golden allows organizers to message volunteers directly in the dashboard. You can check what those messages were by using Golden's Outbox feature to reference messages that were sent and the number of recipients that were contacted. Simply clicking on the subject line will show you the number of recipients, the subject line, and the message that was sent to those individuals. The Web Tools section allows you to edit and add custom data points to help streamline your volunteer opportunities and data reporting. Tags can be used to create various data points that a volunteer can filter on while searching for opportunities in the portal. Tags can also be used to segment different data points within your Insights tab. For example, a tag might be a specific issue area, such as education, or something labeled as family-friendly. Once created in the Web Tool section, you'll be able to use those tags when creating your opportunities. Footprints are the metrics we use to describe a volunteer's impact beyond the hours that they are just serving with your organization. For example, a footprint might be something like the pounds of food distributed, the number of youth tutored, or the number of trees planted. Using these metrics will help better articulate the impact of your volunteer program, and creating them in the Web Tools section allows an organizer to easily assign them to opportunities when they're being created. Lastly, the Suggested Questions tab is where you can ask specific questions outside of the regular fields such as address, date of birth, and gender. An example of a suggested question might be asking a volunteer to list their skills, hobbies, and interests. You can format questions in a short answer paragraph form, list selection, drop-down selection, and document collection. You can choose if these questions should be required for a volunteer to answer upon registration, or make them optional for a volunteer to answer. You can also choose to store these responses on a participant's profile, which we strongly recommend doing. Identifying tags, footprints, and suggested questions early on is important for a few reasons. It helps streamline your data as your volunteers register and complete for opportunities. It also saves time as you're creating opportunities. For example, as you can see, I can add tags in the opportunity creation section from areas that I've already created and assigned tags from my Web Tools. In addition, in the Extras tab, I can find and navigate the footprints, select the footprints that I've already assigned and created in the Web Tools section, and grab and go to help streamline my data. Lastly, in my additional questions section, by clicking the plus icon, I can grab the additional questions that I've created in my Web Tools section. This will help save time when I create opportunities and also helps avoid discrepancies in my data when it comes time to do my reporting. Thanks for joining us, and join us next week for our Golden Online Training episode focused on opportunity creation.
So my intent with showing you that video is to really just give you a very quick review on kind of how intuitive and easy the system is. And I, along with a couple volunteers in the office, have set up things like tags and footprints and additional questions at the aggregator, the top level, and you'll be able to basically use all of those customizations that we really put in for Delaware County. So you shouldn't have to put those in. Those templates will be available for you to just use and adjust. But if you want to leave some things out or put some things in, you have the option to do that. We were just trying to take care of some of the, as much of the work as we could so that individual organizations wouldn't get stuck asking themselves every single question about every single volunteer opportunity that you have to put in. I don't know if you got a sense, but what they do When they think about a volunteer opportunity, they really call them opportunities. And that's how the language that this platform uses. This is a little bit, it's a little bit longer. We've been watching them at a little bit faster so that we can power through them quickly. But the links to all these videos and other training videos will be on my website. But we're trying to curate the training videos that are specifically helpful for our community program partners.
Hi, my name is Chris, one of Golden's client strategy leads, and welcome to Golden's online training series. Today, we'll be taking a look at opportunity creation and exploring the various opportunity types in Golden and how to apply different settings to each. To start, navigate to the opportunities section of your organizer dashboard. From there, click on My Opportunities, and then click the Create Opportunity button in the top right corner of your screen. From there, you'll be provided with a few different opportunity types that you can choose from. Local opportunities are standard or traditional volunteer opportunity types. They have a set location, start, and end time. Flexible location opportunities can be more remote or on your own opportunities that don't necessarily have a start date or end time, or a set location. When creating flexible timing and location opportunities, you have the ability to toggle settings for timing and location. All or nothing opportunities can be a combination of local or flexible opportunities that require a volunteer to commit to every time slot indicated in the opportunity. This is a great use case if you have a PhD intern who has a set number of hours required for their internship program. Webinar or call opportunities are structured opportunities that have a digital location, either web-based or via the phone. This is a great option if you're running a volunteer orientation or phone screening volunteers for interviews. Once you've selected the opportunity type, you cannot go back and edit it to another opportunity type. This is because each opportunity type generates a different set of questions and criteria, so make sure that you select it carefully. Within each opportunity, you'll be asked to give that opportunity a name, a short description of what the volunteer will be doing, and toggle between different privacy settings. Private open and private closed opportunities are more exclusive to specific segments of volunteers and cannot be accessed by the general public. They require volunteers to be in specific subsets of groups in order to register them for the opportunity. If a volunteer is not a part of the target group or audience, they will not be able to register. The difference between private open and private closed opportunities is that private open opportunities will let anyone with a link register for the opportunity, regardless of whether they are part of the target group. Private closed opportunities will not let a volunteer register unless they are part of the specific target group. Open opportunities are available to the public, meaning that anyone who has access to your volunteer portal or the Golden mobile app can find the volunteer opportunity, sign up, and register for it. In the details section, you'll be asked to list the purpose, role, and vibe of the volunteer opportunity. The purpose should always relate back to how these volunteers will be supporting the mission of your organization. In other words, why does this volunteer opportunity exist, and how is it supporting your community? The role should relate to the specific tasks that a volunteer will perform, such as organizing donations, delivering meals, or helping pick up trash alongside the beach. The vibe should speak to what it will feel like to be a part of this opportunity. Don't overthink this one. It's important to consider how a volunteer will feel if they are a part of this opportunity, like team building, mindful engagement, or just fun time at the beach. In this section, you can also toggle between whether this opportunity is indoor or outdoor, active or mellow, mind or body focused, and independent or social. Lastly, here you can add tags that you created in the Web Tools section. Next is physical address and point of contact. This information will be shared with the volunteer after they complete their registration. The point of contact should always be the designated person at your organization who will be managing the volunteers on that specific day. They should be the person who a volunteer can contact should they be running late or need to cancel last minute. After that, you can add time slots for when your volunteer opportunities take place. Start by setting a capacity or indicating if the capacity should be unlimited. Next, select a date, start time, and end time for the opportunity. From there, you can establish a recurring schedule for when the time slot should occur. The recurrence can be set to daily, weekly, monthly, hourly, annually, every weekday, or every 2 hours. You can also set a custom recurrence that provides the utmost flexibility in how you want to structure your time slots. When you're ready, go ahead and click Add Time Slots. The time slots will populate below, and you'll have the ability to customize and change date, start time, end time, and capacity. You also have the option to delete specific time slots if you find that one time slot or another falls on a specific holiday or during office closures. The Extras tab allows you to set a variety of different opportunity settings. The post-registration instructions provide a volunteer helpful information after they've registered for an event. It's helpful to include information here about parking, arrival time, dress code, and what to expect on the day of the event. You can attach as many waivers as you'd like to an opportunity. A volunteer will have the ability to accept these waivers or decline them upon registering. In order for a volunteer to complete their registration, they must accept the waiver. A volunteer can also review their waivers at any time within the volunteer portal. You can choose if you'd like to allow guests at these events and require guest information to be collected upon registration. Emergency contact and age restrictions are also set in this section. If you're going to allow minors to attend your opportunities, they will be asked to provide a parent or guardian email address. The parent or guardian will need to complete the registration for the child by accepting the waivers and reviewing the additional information for the volunteer. A volunteer who has not obtained parental consent will be placed on a wait list until their parent or guardian has given the consent. Background and motor vehicle checks can also be selected here as well. Background and motor vehicle checks can provide near instant results on if a volunteer has been cleared or not. Checks will cost $20, and you can choose if the organization will pay for the check or if the volunteer should pay for them. You can toggle additional participant information that you'd like to collect here as well, such as phone number, middle name, date of birth, company affiliation, and others. Participant demographics, including race or ethnicity, can also be collected here as well and monitored through Insights reporting. Productivity footprints and suggested questions can be added here as well, using the footprints and suggested questions assigned in the Web Tools section. You can also create your own footprints and suggested questions for each opportunity as well, if they are unique to this specific opportunity. Lastly, you can assign an opportunity manager to this opportunity who can manage and monitor the volunteer registrations and engage with volunteers. You can assign as many opportunity managers as you need to an opportunity. As an opportunity manager, you have the ability to edit opportunities, cancel registrations, and message volunteers. On the day of the opportunity, each opportunity manager will receive a day of notification, providing a roster of registered volunteers and a link to launch today's check-in kiosk. Lastly, you will need to select an image. We find that images with an aspect ratio of 16:9 work best when publishing to Golden. You can publish up to 3 photos for each opportunity. And if for confidentiality reasons, you don't want to use an image of your volunteers or community, you can always use a logo in place of one. Before publishing the opportunity, you have the chance to review each section of the opportunity that you created. If it all looks good, you can go ahead and click Submit. Once submitted, the opportunity is vetted by Golden's Community Manager for content alignment and then published to your volunteer portal. As an enterprise client, you have the option to forgo this step if you'd like. Please contact compliance strategists to enable this feature. Once an opportunity has been submitted, you can toggle between a few different time slots, edit the opportunity, message registered volunteers, and generate a list of share links to market to opportunities as a whole or by time slot. You can click the View Opportunity button to see how this opportunity will display in your volunteer portal. That's it for today's session. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more insights on our Golden online trainings.
That gives you a sense of how complicated it is. I set up 2 opportunities for Delco volunteers. Each one took probably about 10 minutes. But after you do 1 or 2, it goes fairly quickly. And one of the things I'm going to do to make it easier for everybody is to give you a cheat sheet of here's all the stuff you need to know and think about in advance. And here are the character counts so that you can kind of figure it out in a Google or Word doc. And then before you go in to your platform, you can paste everything in. But what I would hope is that if you're already pasting these things on your website or you're already pasting them in a social media post, that it also becomes easy enough to post it in here. And if you post it in here first, then you can get a unique link for that volunteer opportunity that you can push out through your social media. And this platform can help you share it across several different social media platforms, and it'll automatically populate all this information in a post for you. So there's a lot of things that are built in this platform with the idea of I'm a, overworked nonprofit worker and I don't have a lot of time to do admin. So how can I put it in one place and not have to do it over and over and over again? So we felt like that was a really strong key feature of Golden. And then, so the last little video, if you want to look at it, is really, what does this feel like from the user's perspective? A lot of times we get very focused as what do we need from the organizational standpoint. But the most important part of volunteer engagement is what does it feel like as a volunteer? And the nice thing about this platform is that it was built almost in a gamified way, that there are lots of small ways to make volunteers feel like they're important, that they're connected, they can get, kudos points, they can easily share that they're volunteering on their own social media, they can get extra, they call them carrots, for inviting friends or telling people that they're volunteering. So there's sort of this social proof built right into the platform where people can really, show like how often do I volunteer. And while some other older generations may not be as driven by the gamification, I work with a lot of younger people and they do really love it. They really like to be able to see like how many points did I earn. And we're going to give them not only the golden points, but we're going to figure out a way to match that with actual commemorative stuff so they can get a sticker or a t-shirt or a hat or a water bottle or something else special that's being produced right here in Delaware County. This is the last video. After this, I don't have a lot more to say. So then we can open the floor to questions.
Hi, my name is Chris, one of Golden's client strategy leads, and welcome to Golden's online training series. Today, we'll be taking a look at user experience in the volunteer portal and how volunteers and organizers can interact with opportunities in your network. The volunteer portal is a public-facing site where anyone on the internet can access and register for opportunities. As a volunteer, you can search and interact with opportunities in a variety of ways. The search bar will allow you to search for opportunities through key-specific keywords or tags. You can also search based on zip code, location, general distance, and age eligibility as well. If you're using tags from the Web Tools section, they will appear here in a list below to select and filter from. You can also toggle between different views on the portal, ranging from list view, calendar view, and dynamic map view, showing you opportunities that are available within your local area. Anyone can view and register opportunities in the portal, regardless of if they have an account with you or not. For a better user experience, we always recommend that volunteers create a profile to start tracking their volunteer activities. To do so, navigate to the Create Account button and provide a few details about yourself in order to create an account. Golden offers single sign-on options with Facebook, but as an enterprise client, you can reach out to our support team and request to have this feature deactivated if you would prefer to collect email addresses. Once you've created a profile, you can customize it in a few different ways. The My Opportunities section will bring you to a page where you can view your lifetime engagement with the organization and other opportunities that you volunteered for through Golden. You can view upcoming opportunities, opportunities that you've been waitlisted for, as well as completed opportunities that you've done in the past. For any completed opportunities, you can log in and view the completion through this link here. This gives you an overview of the opportunity that you had volunteered for, allows you to leave a rating and a reflection, or add photos if you'd like. At the bottom of this page, you can also access the waivers that you've signed off with and accepted upon registering for this opportunity. You can also add a photo of yourself, view lifetime hours, and download a certificate and history of your volunteer engagement. The certificate contains a resume-like document capturing your lifetime hours and historical opportunities that you've completed. These certificates can be downloaded as PDF if volunteers need to reference them in college applications, employment, or court-ordered service. The account button will allow you to update information such as phone number, address, and other fields from Golden that are collected during the opportunity registration process. You can update payment information, view copies of your motor vehicle and background check, toggle your privacy settings for the Golden mobile app, and update your country and password if needed. When you're signed in, opportunity registration flows more smoothly. Any fields that you have answered in the past, such as address, date of birth, phone number, will populate in the fields appropriately. The connections section allows volunteers to list any company, school, or community group that they are a part of. This automatically captures affiliations in the dashboard and gets stored on a volunteer's profile. With the company affiliation question enabled, you'll better be able to track connections for your volunteers. This can be a valuable tool when it comes time to fundraise and identifying companies that are the highest concentration of volunteers within your network. Upon registering for an opportunity, volunteers will be provided name, location information, and post-registration instructions identified in the opportunity. As an organizer, you'll also receive an email telling you that someone has registered for your opportunity. Organizers can also add volunteers in the dashboard through Golden's spreadsheet upload feature. In order to do so, you'll need the volunteer's first name, last name, and email separated out into 3 columns of an Excel document. The volunteer will receive a notification telling them that they've been registered for the opportunity and will be prompted to complete their registration for any of the required fields. As an organizer, I can engage with registered volunteers in a variety of ways. For example, I can select volunteers, message them directly via email or SMS. I can also select volunteers on the 3 dots on the right-hand side and either cancel registrations or block participants from engaging with this opportunity in the future. After a volunteer opportunity has passed, I can do things such as edit attendance, marking volunteers as completed or missed, and leave a rating on the volunteer that does not get shared publicly with the volunteer. I can also edit hours, awarding hours or giving hours to volunteers as needed, and edit footprints for volunteers as well if I were to communicate the impact of what that volunteer was doing. There are a number of different automations in Golden that will help give time back to volunteer managers. Some of these are more helpful ones include registration confirmation emails, time slot cancellation notifications, time or location change notifications, day before reminder emails, and reminders for volunteers to log hours. For a full list of the automations that volunteers receive, you can view our help desk article outlining those emails. All of the automations are distributed through email, and most are also delivered through our text messaging features as well. At the time slot, the opportunity manager will receive an email with a roster of registered volunteers and a link for them to launch the check-in kiosk. The check-in kiosk is a dynamic web-based tool that allows volunteers to check themselves in and out on site at an event, automatically capturing their attendance for the opportunity and any hours associated with their registration. The kiosk can be activated on any device, including a desktop, laptop, tablet, or mobile device. Walk-in volunteers can register themselves and complete the necessary fields using the Add Participant button. This will also prompt them to accept any waivers associated with your volunteer opportunity. The status bar on the left-hand side shows the filled capacity and the remaining number of volunteers who still need to check in. After the opportunity, volunteers will receive an email asking them to report their activity. They will also have the chance to leave any ratings, reflections, and photos that they took on site. These photos will be stored in the volunteer opportunity itself and can be used for marketing and promotional purposes. The 5-star ratings are also shown on the volunteer opportunity in the portal, allowing for volunteers to understand what opportunities have been rated outstanding by people in their community. This concludes our online training series on the volunteer portal and volunteer engagement strategies. Thank you for.
I'm not going to show you any more videos, but they're all pretty short and they're all pretty focused. So I've been working with a retired technology executive who's a volunteer, and they're finding it very, very easy to use. So as far as the technology adaptation goes, it's almost as easy as interfacing with Facebook or any of the other social media platforms we found. So what we're really looking, again, for the impact of this initiative to be is to really get everybody involved. And for organizations, we hope to leave you with a legacy of an expanded volunteer base, may increase your capacity through the platform, and to give you some stronger community connections. if you don't have a full volunteer program, this platform may give you some opportunities to really protect your organization by getting things like waivers or offloading some costs of getting if you have people who are working in schools or in youth programs with asking those volunteers to get their clearances for you or their background checks for you. For individuals, it gives them really meaningful engagement. They see tangible impact and they can really be a part of this whole 250th celebration. One of the things you may have noticed, is that they can download certificates, which allows students to immediately get their volunteer hours that they need. And you, as an administrator, don't have to do anything. It's automatic in the system. And the other thing is that with the change in SNAP benefits, individuals who do receive SNAP will now need to demonstrate additional work or volunteer hours. And these certificates should also provide those individuals with proof of volunteering hours. So we're really trying to adapt to the needs of what's going on right now. And that was another sort of add-on that Golden was able to give to us that normally they wouldn't extend to a smaller project like ours, but they did because they saw the general social need for that right now. And then for the whole county, what we're really looking for is that with all of these efforts, we will be able to really strengthen the civic infrastructure that we have in Delaware County, that people can have a little bit of pride that they've helped preserve our history, and that we have all of this wonderful history here in Delaware County. So this is a semi-quick overview, but I just want to let you know that right now I'm waiting for a technology glitch to be repaired and connected. So the Golden portal is not live as of this moment. I anticipate that it should be live over the next 72 hours, hopefully. But I want to make sure you have some basic information. We've set up a dedicated email for Delco volunteers at America 250 where you can communicate any kind of questions about the volunteer program. And that's where you should send an email if you'd like to get your own portal. We have a volunteer, her name is Susan Avis, and she is here to make individual appointments with people and kind of walk them through things. Of course, all of the information and links will be on our webpage at America 250 Delco. So as a community program partner, we'll be pushing out the toolkit with all this information in it, as well as information about how to submit your events to our events calendar that's going to go live soon, so that you can both promote the events as well as promote your volunteer needs over the next year. And every month on the first Wednesday of the month, I do an open community chat session where you can ask questions and we can stay connected on what your plans are and when you're ready to go live with all of these things, because I'm very aware that people are still planning. And these platforms allow us to get information up and push it out to the public very, very quickly. So if your organization is deciding that they want to do something in 5 weeks, you can put the project in here, we can push it out to the public, and then you can have that opportunity show up. And then I will work to continue to promote that. So that concludes my presentation. And at this point, I'd like to open it up to questions.
Okay, this is Anita Kennedy. I have a question for you. So, I'm fairly new on our historical committee. You don't have to be on the committee to, I guess, open up a new opportunity, correct? Like, I don't know how, like, I'm not sure how all that works. So I assume I'm going to need to go to my municipality and chat with somebody up there to kind of get this started in my community, or I'm just not sure how to get it started.
Great. So I think if are you with a specific organization or group?
I'm with the Historical Committee in Upper Chichester.
Right. So you don't need to be a standalone nonprofit EIN to register with this platform, which is a real benefit, right? Some people are just groups. They're not EINs. And with Idealist or Volunteer Match or some of these other larger platforms, you need to have an EIN number and be a registered 501c3 to register. This allows just groups to register. And so if Upper Chi wants to register, Upper Chi can reach out and say, hey, Andrea, we want Upper Chi to be a community program partner, and we want to be a partner in your platform. And I will send you the login information specific for your group. And you'll get an email that says you've been invited to be a partner. And then you can put in the information for your group. And so it may be that it is an ad hoc committee.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And that was
Thank
one
you.
of the benefits to using Golden, was that it
Right.
didn't require everyone to be an EIN, not 501c3 registered nonprofit, because we do have a lot of consortiums here.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Did you guys find that it was helpful? Can you like raise your hands and say it's helpful? Yeah. Do we think that this will land well in your raise your hand if you feel like there's an opportunity in your community to use this? Yeah. Okay, good. I tried to listen as well as I could during stakeholder engagement and problem solve as many problems as I could. So this would be pretty easy. We do, I can share that I will be hiring a part-time person to help support this platform over the next year. So there'll be a job description created and published in the next few weeks to hire a part-time role for it. So there will be dedicated help for this for the whole year.
So, Andrea, right now I use Sign Up Genius most of all because like that's what a lot of people are familiar with. And one of the things on Sign Up Genius is that for each uh day of like say like for my festival, I have multiple roles. And so um it would be, and I also have a lot of students and they come to me afterwards and they're like, can I have, my hours and stuff to sign up? Um, and so it would be, it's helpful to have the opportunity to have a bunch of different roles, each, like some of them are sitting, some of them are standing and stuff like that. So you could have several different opportunities for the same event.
You
put
can,
onto it.
if they're that different, you can, so there's two different ways you can do it. You can either publish several different opportunities for the same event, or you can add additional questions in which asks the registrant to tell you from a drop-down menu or select box what role they want to play. But it wouldn't allow you, if you did it the latter way, it wouldn't allow you to say, oh, I've got 3 out of 4 slots filled. If you want to be able to know the number of slots filled versus just like a whole body of people who are willing to do a variety of roles for you, you
Yeah.
can do it either way.
Yeah, I think like for when I do say like the creek cleanup where everyone is doing the same thing, then I would do just one opportunity. But for festival where everyone's doing multiple things, I would put up several different opportunities. But having the reporting is helpful for nonprofits to get grants and say like we've had this many volunteer hours and it's also helpful for volunteers to know how many hours that they've done if they need to report it anywhere, and also to know, like, because I know that I volunteer in a lot of places, and I'm supposed to be keeping track for the DAR, and I'm not very good at keeping track.
No,
So this
and so
kind
it
of thing will
really
be
does
very helpful for
allow,
that.
people who volunteer at 5 or 6 places to begin to put all that information in one like volunteer profile.
Yeah.
And you get all these points, you get more carrots and you get more points. And that's like, congratulations, you're a volunteer.
Yeah.
So it has some fun, engaging and interactive ways.
Does anyone else have any other questions?
It's Anita again. I have another question. So how do I find the opportunity groups that are already established?
They'll show up on the opportunity. When you start building an opportunity, it will the tags will automatically show up for you. So you can just pick them.
Okay.
And then what happens, right, is when you have a volunteer opportunity, all the people who volunteered for you to do that thing become like a group automatically. So say had somebody come and do your creek cleanup in April, and then, or say you had someone come up and do a historic site cleaning and greening event in April, and then you wanted to have them come again in February, and you know that you have a group of people who already know what you want for cleaning and greening. Well, you can automatically send those people a quick invite that says, hey, we have another cleaning and greening opportunity coming up in September. Thanks for the one you came to in April. Would you like to come again? And it's that group of people who kind of like to do that thing, which for us it means at a higher level, if I begin to identify people who say enjoy dressing up in historical costume and attire, and that they're comfortable talking and they can come with all their own costumes, we can now have those group of people and ask them, hey, would you like to volunteer over here or over there? Since we know that's something that they like to do and they're qualified and trained to do.
Okay, let me just, I feel stupid, but so say I wanted to volunteer in the Cleanup Creek opportunity with Kate. How would I go about letting her know that? Besides, that's an easy way for me just to describe what I'm trying to find here.
Sure. So first you would have to set up your own, well, actually, first you would have to download the Golden app on your phone. And
Right, yeah,
once you download the Golden app, you could either type in the organization you're looking for, or you could
okay,
click on cleanup and it would show you the opportunities that are available, and you would be able to just tap on it and pick it. And then once
okay,
you pick it and then it would say, when do you want to do it? And then you would sign up for it that way. And because you've created, the Golden app doesn't require you to create an account to just look at what's in there.
okay,
Someone can download the app and just look at what's in there. And then
okay,
it's not until they want to volunteer that it prompts you to create your own account. But once you
okay.
do
So
create your own
anybody,
account, it's
mhm,
not going to ask you over and over again, please put in your phone number. Like once you save your phone number to your own account, it automatically populates to every volunteer opportunity you sign up for in the future.
okay. So like anybody, can sign up for this, say my grandson or my mother or and download it onto their device of their choice or whatever. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. That answers my question. Thank you.
And it's downloadable on Android as well as Apple.
Right. Okay. Great.
So the biggest, there's two big hurdles to launching this program. One is getting the public to download the app. And the second one is to get organizations to put their volunteer projects into the app. And so those are the two things that we'll be working on over the next really 2 months and then probably well into the year, and just getting people to use it and promote it and share it. And so we always ask that all community program partners also be sharing, hey, we put our thing in here, use this, use Golden to register for your volunteer app.
And I
So you
want
should,
to, sorry, I
go ahead.
wanted to say that like if you don't have to be doing all this stuff on the phone either. You could do it on the website and then you can easily find it on the phone. But if you're better off typing on the on like a website on a computer instead of the phone, then you can do that then too.
That's true. That is correct. So it works on both platforms. So we'll be rolling out more information about this over the next few weeks and trying to follow up individually with each sort of municipal group that we've talked to over the past year, and every nonprofit we've talked to over the past year. Some of the folks that we talked to were really waiting for this to be built. A lot of our faith groups were very interested in waiting to see, well, what are the volunteer opportunities? That's how we want to participate. So a lot of our service and faith groups and Rotaries in the county, they were really waiting for all these volunteer opportunities to be listed. And the same with a lot of our corporate partners, so Power Home Remodeling, they're waiting to see the list of opportunities to put their volunteer corporate folks out to, and they're looking forward to sharing those over the next year. The other thing that from a community program partner is that we're going to be trying to identify some signature days and then connecting them with Wawa. Wawa has sponsored Delco volunteers and is agreeing to provide water and pretzels to volunteers on your service days. So that's another thing that we can offer you, hopefully create some little happiness and joy in the people who come out to volunteer with you.
Andrea?
Yes.
Yeah, this is John Haggis. We were working with the Friends of the Bluebell, which is in Southwest Philadelphia. And to what extent are county boundaries connectable, different from different counties? We're Eastern Delaware County. But how wide is the opportunity reach?
Well, so the service area for Delco volunteers, it really is it's meant to be for Delaware County municipalities. It's not going to reject an opportunity. Like if you put your address in as outside of Delaware County, it's not going to reject it. But we wouldn't be able to provide sponsorship benefits like Wawa or other promotional benefits to volunteer opportunities outside of the county.
But
What-
we are in Delaware.
Well, yeah, we are. What I'm thinking about is
You just mentioned West Philadelphia, and I was like, West Philadelphia would be in Philadelphia. So
well, but the first ring suburbs like Yeadon, Darby, Colwyn, etc., are a group, but there is some outreach into Southwest Philadelphia. I don't know. It's we have a couple of things that we're working on, and I will send you a letter with more coherent details.
yeah, I mean, we're happy to post all opportunities, at Delaware County organizations. So even if you have, I think that's the thing is, there's a lot of Delaware County people who were born here, who may live in Monco or may live in Chesco or may live in Philly, and they want to come back and they want to do something here, and that's something we want to support.
Okay, thank you.
Andrea, is it based on the location of the service project opportunity or the location of the organization? Like Friends of Bluebell is in Philadelphia, but if they were to do something, say at Woodburn in Darby, then that would be in Delaware County.
Right. I think it's really based on the location of where the volunteer service project is taking place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if the opportunity is within Delaware County, then you can get the Wawa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
Yeah.
Thank you all for giving me your evening time. I really appreciate it. And if anybody wants to talk further, you can always reach me at Andrea at America250 padelco.org. I'm here every day, and I look forward to talking to all of you. And thank you for all the work you do to keep our historical sites going year round.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much, Andrea.
Thank you.